Courthouse Performance Training is the Willamette Valley's premier training program for athletes. We primarily work with high school and college athletes, but we also work with people that are injured or coming off of being injured, whether they're coming from working with a physical therapist, a chiropractor, or they're just in pain or have some kind of dysfunction.
We know how the human body is supposed to move, what joints of the body are supposed to remain stable, what segments of the body are designed to move, and as long as we respect that and we use it, we can create an amazing athlete.
Well, we use the functional movement screen and a handful of other tests as well, so we can establish a baseline for everyone that we're working with. We know there are some norms that everyone that comes in should be able to achieve. If they can't achieve these basic standards, we know that there's some kind of dysfunction that has to be cleaned up. But how do we know when we're getting an athlete moving better? How do we know when we're getting an athlete to have a decreased risk of injury? And our functional movement screen and the rest of our screening process lets us measure that. We do everything that we do really fits in our philosophy of training movement patterns rather than training muscle groups. A lot of our athletes will have a day where we're working on acceleration and everything is very linear, it's very straight, going forwards and backwards. So our speed and agility work for that day is going to reflect that. Our medicine balls for that day is going to reflect that. Our lifting for that day is going to reflect that. And then of course our conditioning for that day is going to reflect that. The more different kinds of ways we can provide a stimulus for the athlete, the more different ways we can help them get better. We've got a lot of tools in our toolbox that we can use, whether it be an athlete using a kettlebell, using the sleds, using the competition Olympic bars, the battling ropes. All of these things are things that we can utilize somehow, some way to help an athlete get better. Reinforce the movement patterns of that day, keep them excited and not get bored with the training. So a lot of people will try to be very intense with what they do for conditioning. We recognize that the intensity has to be there, and we bring the intensity when it comes time for the conditioning. We want to do it in a very smart way. We want to condition the body to be very specific as far as the energy pathways, the work to rest ratios that are going to help them very specifically for their sport. Recovery is vital to making an athlete better. The truth is all the things that we do in here are the stimulus for the body to change. The body only changes when we actually have it recover from the stimulus.
We can beat you up all day long, but if you're not recovering like you're supposed to, then it doesn't matter.
Well, the athletes that come in here and have the greatest deal of success are the ones that come in ready to work. And if we have an athlete who comes in ready to do work, we're going to provide them the smartest possible training plan out there to accomplish their goals. When we get you to a point where we know, statistically speaking, you are at a low risk for injury, we can really get after training and you're not going to get hurt, then we're going to get after training and do everything we can to make sure you don't get hurt, but you're getting better every single week. We want an athlete to be able to accelerate better. We want an athlete to be able to move laterally better. We want an athlete to be able to cut, change directions. We want them to be able to jump better, land better, and then we want them to be strong and powerful. And when we get to the right point of their off season, we want to add in the conditioning and make sure we're building a big gas tank for that athlete. So when they get into their season, they can do everything they need to do as strong, as powerful, and last as long as they need to. I think the thing that separates us from other programs is that Aaron and I, and as a program as a whole, we care so much about how our athletes are doing. We really are invested all of our time, all of our finances, into making sure we educate ourselves, educate the interns that work in here, and educate our athletes as to what needs to happen for them to achieve maximum performance.